Good morning, everybody. Today we are going to continue revision of the lesson The King's Choice. So, as you know, there was a lion who was the king of the forest, and he was very big, strong, and very famous. So he must thought that the king must have a court. That's why he selected some of his courtier, fox, leopard, and vulture. So fox was his advisor, uh, and leopard, uh, he was the bodyguard of the lion king, and the vulture, uh, he was a messenger of the of the king. Now, so you know that in the story they both they take the oath of loyalty to the kings, and they decided to taste the mill of the camel. That's why they just uh, go with uh, their courtier in search of the camel in the desert. Okay, so up to this we have seen. Okay, the camel was presented to the king. He agreed to serve the lion in return for a home at his court. Get on the camel's back. So everyone is just sitting on the camel's back, and they will return home. The lion at once jumped onto the camel's back. His courtiers, the fox and the leopard, jumped up behind him. And with the vulture flying ahead as a guide, they set off on the long journey back to the forest. When the travelers reached the forest, they were all tired and hungry. When the travelers reached the forest, they all were very tired and hungry. The fox, the leopard, and the vulture looked at the camel. Then they looked at each other and smiled hungry smiles. They had brought the camel for the king's dinner. Now it was time for the feast. It was time for the feast. The lion king knew that his courtiers were thinking. He called the camel to him. Friend camel, he said, I have to thank you for saving my life. You are welcome to live at my court as long as you like. I promise you my protection. The lion's courtiers were shocked. Had they not risked their lives so that he could try camel meat? And the king wanted to let the camel lie. The king wanted to let the camel lie. The courtiers were not pleased with his decision, yet they could do nothing. Now the lion's paws were so badly burned that he could not go hunting. But that did not keep from growing very hungry indeed. Fox, leopard, vulture, he shouted. He shouted, Fox, leopard, vulture, don't you see that I'm ill and hungry? So he's saying to the people, don't you see that I am ill and hungry? Go and get me some food. Go and get me some food. The courtiers had to obey the king, so out they went, but they did not go far. They sat down in a safe place and discussed what they could do. I know, said the fox after a while. Fox is saying, I know what to do. We shall make the camel ask to be eaten. We have to ask camel to be eaten. He told the others of his plan. They all agreed, so back they went to the king. So back they went to the king. First, the vulture stepped forward. Your Majesty, he said, bowing low. We have found no food. We have found no food. But we cannot let your Majesty suffer. We don't find any food, but we don't let your Majesty suffer. I am a poor creature, eat me. I am a poor creature, you can eat me. Vulture ने बोला, okay, your Majesty, by bowing low, we have found no food. हमको कुछ खाना नहीं मिला, but हम हमारे राजा को, किंग को कैसे सफर होने देंगे? So I am a poor creature. Vulture कह रहा था, eat me. आप मुझे खा लो. Okay. The fox pushed the vulture aside. Fox ने vulture को side में, बाजू में ऐसे push किया. I have more meat on me, he cried. Fox ने बोला मुझ पे तो ज्यादा meat है, more meat. तो आप ज्यादा से ज्यादा खा सकते हो. You can eat me, your Majesty. Fox बोलने लगा, तो नहीं आप मुझे खाओ. Now the leopard rushed forward. Now क्या हुआ? Leopard सामने आया, rush forward. I am not much good, he cried, but I could make a meal for the king. मैं इतना अच्छा नहीं हूँ, but I can make a meal, खाना for the king. खाना बन सकता हूँ king. The camel listened to all these offers. Camel ने सारी offers सुनी. Okay, camel listened all these offers. He must do as much, he thought. He must do as much, he thought. So, Your Majesty, he said, I too am willing to give my life for you. Please eat me instead of the old friends of yours. नहीं आप मुझे खाओ instead of my friends. You can take my life. I am willing to give my life for you. Please eat me instead of these old friends of yours. Who will be more useful than I am? मुझसे ज़्यादा useful कौन हो सकता है than I am? This was what the fox, the leopard, and the vulture were waiting for. इसके लिए तो leopard, fox और vulture wait कर रहे थे. They prepared to jump at the camel, but the lion stopped them. इन्होंने plan बनाया that we have to jump at the camel, but the lion stopped them. But the lion stopped them. You are all good and loyal subjects. You are all good and loyal subjects, he said. My heart is touched by your offers. My heart is touched by your offers. I accept them all. I accept them all. I shall eat you in the order in which you offered yourself. मैं तुमको खाऊंगा जैसे तुमने ऑफर किया है, मैं तुमको खाऊंगा. I shall eat you in the order in which you offered yourself. The vulture, the fox, and the leopard were shocked. Away flew the vulture. Away ran the fox and the leopard. They were never seen in the forest again. They were never seen in the forest again. The lion laughed to see them to go. The lion laughed to see them. Then he turned to the camel and said, "You have been loyal and good. You have been loyal and good. You shall be my friend as long as we are alive." You shall be my friend as long as you were alive. जब तक के तुम हो, that we shall be a good friend. Okay, to last moment. The camel was happy and grateful. Camel कैसे था? Happy था, grateful था. बहुत अच्छा लगा उसे. Because the lion king, he told him that we are friend. You shall be my friend as long as we are alive. The camel was very happy and grateful. Lion thought to himself, to be king is good, but to be kind is better. So this is the moral of our story. So lion ने सोचा, to be kind is a good, to be king is a good, to be king is a good, but to be kind is a better. Okay. So here we have finished this revision of lesson King's Choice. Okay. So camel is the king's choice because he is the true friend of the king, lion king. Okay, that's why. So we will get the moral from the story. To be king is good, but to be kind is better. To be kind is better. So this is your story. Now we have to discuss the question answers. We have discussed it in the previous periods, but this is the revision. That's why I'm taking this question. See, write a character sketch of each of the animals. Character sketch लिखना है each of the animals. Fox, lion, lion king, fox, leopard, vulture. Okay, and write about their actions, thoughts, and the qualities that emerge through them. Okay, action, thought, or quality emerge. You may present the sketch in the form of a graphic. So you have to present the sketch in the form of the graphic. You may present the sketch in the form of a graphic. Using your imagination, write more sentences in the same pattern. So some patterns are given, you have to write down the question. So we have done this. But the more the lion had, the more he wanted. Okay. So all this we have done. So you have to only think about the character sketches of each animal. Character sketch of each animal. Okay. So do it, and this is a very wonderful story. You get moral. So to be kind with each other. Okay. So here the Lion King said, to be king is very good thing. To be king is good, but to be kind is better. Okay. To be kind is better. So here we have finished this lesson is revision. So what is your homework? Read the lesson. Read the lesson, The King's Choice, and note down the hard words of this lesson. Okay. Note down the hard words. Everybody, you have to read. Reading is very important. Your pronunciation, your vocabulary will increase. Okay, so daily you have to read. Not only this, you can read other books also. Different storybooks, magazines are there. Okay, so you can read. So reading practice is very important. Understood? Okay. So we'll stop here. This lesson's question answers will continue in next video. Okay. Okay. Bye.